In a village nestled in the heart of Africa, there lived a wealthy man named Kofi. Kofi was known far and wide for his immense riches and his large family. He was a man of great stature, with a presence that commanded respect and awe. His wealth came from his vast lands, fertile farms, and thriving trade. Despite his affluence, there was a void in his life that he had not yet identified. Kofi had many wives, each one vying for his attention and favor. They were all beautiful and talented in their own ways, and each wife brought a unique quality to the household. They cooked, cleaned, and took care of the children, hoping to win Kofi's affection. Yet, Kofi's heart remained distant, preoccupied with the management of his wealth and the growth of his business. Each day, Kofi's compound buzzed with activity. His wives were like the gears of a well-oiled machine, ensuring everything ran smoothly. The aroma of delicious meals wafted through the air as they prepared food. The sound of children laughing and playing filled the yard, bringing life and joy to the household. Despite the lively atmosphere, Kofi often felt like an outsider in his own home. Kofi's mind was always occupied with his business ventures. He spent his days meeting traders, inspecting his lands, and making plans to expand his wealth. He believed that by providing a luxurious life, he was fulfilling his duty as a husband. Little did he realize that wealth alone could not bring true happiness and fulfillment. One evening, as the sun set and the village quieted, Kofi sat alone in his grand room. The room was filled with opulent furniture, golden trinkets, and intricate tapestries. However, none of these riches brought him comfort. He felt a strange emptiness gnawing at his heart. Surrounded by luxury, he pondered the source of his loneliness. Kofi realized that despite his wealth and the many people around him, he felt isolated. He began to question his life choices and wondered if there was something he had overlooked. Determined to find the source of his discontent, he decided to observe his wives more closely. Perhaps, he thought, there was a lesson to be learned from the women who shared his home. Over the next few days, Kofi paid close attention to each of his wives. He watched them as they went about their daily tasks, noting their interactions with each other and with the children. He saw their efforts to please him and the small acts of kindness they showed in their daily lives. He began to see them not just as his wives but as individuals with their own unique qualities. Kofi noticed how each wife contributed to the household in her own way. Some were diligent workers, others were excellent caretakers, and a few were natural leaders. Yet, amidst all these qualities, one wife stood out. To him, Amina. She was different from the others, not because she sought his favor, but because of her gentle and kind nature. She quietly ensured the household ran smoothly, offering help wherever it was needed without seeking recognition. Kofi observed how Amina's presence brought a sense of peace to the household. She did not compete for his attention but instead focused on the well-being of the family. Her selflessness and quiet strength began to touch Kofi's heart in ways he had not expected. As Kofi began to spend more time observing Amina, some of the other wives noticed his growing admiration for her. They couldn't help but feel jealous of the attention Amina was receiving. A few of them started to gossip, their envy fanning the flames of discord within the household. The jealousy among the wives began to manifest in small, spiteful acts. They would intentionally exclude Amina from conversations and chores, hoping to undermine her. Yet, Amina remained patient and kind, refusing to let their envy affect her gentle nature. One day, a terrible storm struck the village. The sky darkened, and the winds howled fiercely. Rain poured heavily, causing the roof of Kofi's house to leak. The compound was thrown into chaos as everyone scrambled to protect the children and their belongings from the torrential downpour. Amidst the chaos, Kofi saw Amina tirelessly helping everyone. She organized the efforts to keep the children safe and ensured that the women worked together to manage the situation. Her leadership and compassion were evident as she moved through the compound, calming fears and providing direction. Even the wives who had been jealous of her couldn't deny her remarkable abilities. When the storm finally passed, Kofi gathered all his wives together in the courtyard. He praised their efforts during the storm but spoke particularly about Amina's selflessness and love. He acknowledged that while he had many wives, it was Amina's quiet strength and kindness that truly mattered to him. He thanked her for her tireless dedication and recognized her role in keeping the family united. As Amina's influence grew stronger, so did the jealousy of some of Kofi's other wives. They could not stand seeing Kofi's admiration for her, feeling overlooked and undervalued in comparison. The seeds of envy that had been planted began to take root, and a few of the wives decided to take matters into their own hands. Led by Fatu, one of the more ambitious wives, the jealous wives began to plot against Amina. They believed that if they could remove her from the village, Kofi's attention would return to them. The jealousy clouded their judgment, and they failed to see the potential harm their actions could cause. One evening, as the household settled down after a long day, Fatu and the other jealous wives approached Amina. They feigned concern, telling her that Kofi had instructed her to meet him at a distant part of the village for an urgent matter. Trusting them, Amina set out into the night, unaware of their true intentions. While Amina was away, the jealous wives went to Kofi and told him that Amina had abandoned the family. They fabricated a story, claiming she had been seen speaking with strangers and planning to leave the village. Kofi, confused and distressed, didn't know what to believe. The seeds of doubt began to sprout in his mind. The next morning, Amina returned to find the household in turmoil. Kofi, visibly upset, confronted her about the accusations. Amina, hurt and bewildered, tried to explain that she had only gone out because she was told Kofi needed her. But the other wives, determined to stick to their story, accused her of lying. Amina's gentle nature and honest eyes eventually led Kofi to doubt the accusations. He decided to investigate further before making any decisions. He spoke to the villagers and servants, trying to piece together the truth. Slowly, the cracks in the jealous wives' story began to show. Kofi discovered that Amina had indeed been misled by the other wives. The villagers and servants confirmed that Amina had always been loyal and kind-hearted. Realizing the extent of the deceit, Kofi felt a deep sense of remorse for doubting her. He called a meeting of all his wives to address the issue. Kofi confronted the jealous wives about their plot. Faced with the evidence, they had no choice but to admit their wrongdoing. Kofi was deeply disappointed in them but chose to approach the situation with the wisdom he had gained from Amina. He decided not to punish them harshly but to use the incident as a lesson for the entire household. Kofi gathered everyone and spoke about the importance of love, trust, and unity. He praised Amina's unwavering loyalty and reminded his wives that true happiness could only be achieved through mutual respect and understanding. The jealous wives, filled with shame and remorse, apologized to Amina, who graciously forgave them. The incident brought about a profound change in the household. The wives began to work together with a renewed sense of unity and purpose. Amina's example of forgiveness and kindness became the guiding light for the family. Kofi's appreciation for Amina grew even stronger, and he made a vow to never let jealousy and deceit undermine the love and harmony of their home. In the weeks following the incident with the jealous wives, Kofi found himself reflecting deeply on the nature of his relationships and the true meaning of love and companionship. He realized that his heart had found its true home with Amina. Her gentle strength and unwavering kindness had shown him what it meant to truly love and be loved. Kofi decided that he no longer wished to have many wives. He wanted to devote himself entirely to Amina, the one who had brought true joy and fulfillment to his life. With a heavy heart, he knew he had to discuss his decision with his other wives and the village elders. One day, Kofi gathered all his wives in the courtyard. The air was thick with anticipation as they sensed something significant was about to happen. Kofi took a deep breath and began to speak, his voice filled with sincerity and determination. "My dear wives, I have come to a decision. I have realized that true happiness lies not in wealth or the number of wives a man has, but in the depth of love and connection he shares with his partner. I have decided to divorce all of you except Amina, who has shown me the true meaning of love and companionship." A wave of shock and disbelief swept through the group. The wives exchanged worried glances, and murmurs of discontent filled the air. Kofi's words were unexpected and challenging, and they struggled to process the implications of his decision. News of Kofi's decision quickly spread through the village, reaching the ears of the elders. They summoned Kofi to a council meeting to discuss his choice. The elders were the keepers of tradition, and they did not take lightly to changes that threatened the established norms. "Kofi, we have heard of your decision to divorce your wives and remain with only one. This is a matter of great concern, as it goes against the customs and traditions of our people. Why do you seek to make such a change? Respected elders, I have come to understand that true love cannot be measured by the number of wives a man has. Amina has shown me the essence of companionship, kindness, and mutual respect. I wish to honor that bond above all else." The elders listened intently but were not easily swayed. They valued tradition and were concerned about the precedent Kofi's decision might set for the village. The elder chief spoke up, voicing their collective disapproval. "Kofi, while we respect your feelings, we must uphold the traditions that have guided our people for generations. A man of your stature has a responsibility to set an example for the village. Divorcing your wives in favor of one could disrupt the harmony and balance of our community." Kofi felt the weight of their words but remained resolute. He understood the importance of tradition, but he also knew that true change often required difficult choices. He respectfully pleaded his case, hoping to find a middle ground. After much deliberation, the elders proposed a compromise. They suggested that while Kofi could honor Amina as his primary wife, he should continue to support his other wives, ensuring their well-being and place within the community. This way, he could honor both his heart's desire and the village's traditions. Kofi, we propose that you continue to provide for your other wives, ensuring they are respected and cared for. In this way, you can honor your love for Amina while maintaining the stability and traditions of our village. Kofi agreed to the elders' proposal, grateful for their wisdom and understanding. He promised to support his other wives and ensure their well-being, while dedicating his heart and life to Amina. The decision brought a sense of peace and balance to the household and the village. Through this compromise, Kofi was able to follow his heart without disrupting the harmony of his community. He learned that true love and responsibility could coexist, and that sometimes, the path to happiness required finding a balance between personal desires and communal values. The village soon noticed the change in Kofi. No longer was he the distant, preoccupied man solely focused on his wealth. He began to take an active role in the community, much to everyone's surprise and delight. Kofi followed Amina's example of kindness and generosity, seeking to improve the lives of those around him. Kofi started hosting village gatherings, providing food and entertainment for everyone. He listened to the concerns of his fellow villagers and worked to address them. His home became a place of peace and joy, admired by all who knew him. The transformation in Kofi inspired others, and the village began to thrive. Under his newfound leadership, Amina's influence extended beyond Kofi's household. She encouraged the other wives to get involved in community activities, fostering a spirit of cooperation and unity. Together, they organized events, helped the needy, and supported the education of children. Their collective efforts brought about a positive change in the village.